Our leader, sa ating mga kasama dito ngayon sa plenaryo, magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I rise today to speak on an issue that deeply concerns the welfare of the people I represent and the dignity of our labor force and investors in Bataan. Recent events involving Central One Bataan PH Inc. or Central One, a duly area of the Freeport area of Bataan registered locator doing business as a BPO company for IT, technical support to online gaming companies located outside the country have exposed serious lapses and, quite frankly, Mr. Speaker, an alarming disregard for due process by our law enforcement agencies. In the name of justice, we cannot allow any institution to act with a heavy hand and bring distress upon our law-abiding citizens without a thorough and cautious approach. Last October 31, 2024, employees of Central One found themselves in the midst of a raid that quickly turned into a nightmare. A combined team from the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, PAOC, and the Criminal Investigation Detection Group, CIDG, Armed Forces of the Philippines, and PNP Region 3 served a search warrant issued by a court in Malolos, Bulacan, on allegations of human trafficking. The warrant allowed for the confiscation of all items connected to the alleged crime, and the operation began around 3 p.m. What unfolded next was an ordeal that defies the principles of humane treatment and due process. As the implementing team began their search, all employees, both Filipino and foreign, were forcibly detained and held in various areas and denied their freedom to move or even use their cell phones, despite the fact that no evidence was gathered during the search on the alleged human trafficking. They were ordered to keep their hands above their heads. Most of them were even ordered to lie face down on their stomach. For the Filipino workers, initial threats of detention were made, although they were eventually released, but only after an exhaustive hours of profiling and harassment. The raiding team falsely claimed to be rescuing the employees, which contradicts the employees' clear statement that they need no rescuing at all. Now, with the video evidence, it is clear that the employees were seeking to be rescued from the PAOC itself because of the latter's abusive conduct. For the foreign workers, the ordeal was even more harrowing. They were labeled undesirable aliens despite possessing necessary papers such as alien employment permits and investors' visa. Director Winston Casio, spokesperson of PAOC, leading the operation, insisted on their detention, claiming that their work at Central One was illegal due to the fact that they are working in an establishment which has not secured secondary permit from PAGCOR, a claim that has no sufficient legal basis and unsupported by any specific criminal law. 42 foreign nationals were detained by the PAOC despite the absence of grounds to detain them. If their case is for being undesirable aliens, then the arrest should have been carried out by the Bureau of Immigration officer armed with a mission order. However, the search was conducted in absence of BI officers, making the illegality of the arrest more obvious. Throughout this traumatic ordeal, Central One's legal representative repeated Lee explained that the company was legally operating as a BPO under a license from the Authority of the Freeport Area of Bataan, or AFAB, and did not require a secondary permit from PAGCOR, as there were no POGO operations involved. Nonetheless, the pleas of Central One's representatives fell on deaf ears as Director Casio and other officers of the raiding team simply maintained that they were just acting as on orders of the Executive Secretary. For every point raised by the legal representative of Central One, Director Casio would just end up saying that they were just acting on orders of the Executive Secretary. Mr. Speaker, sana hindi po nini-name drop ni Director Casio ang pangalan ni Executive Secretary dahil kilala ko po si Executive Secretary na isang mabait na tao. At bilang Justice, dating Justice ng Supreme Court at Chief Justice pa man din, alam niya ang karapatan ng mamamayan na dapat respetuhin ng otoridad. Sigurado kong hindi niya kukonsintihin ang mga pinagagawang pang-aabuso ng mga operatiba sa aming kababayan sa lalawigan ng Bataan. The raiding team also proceeded with the detention of the foreigners. The search was not only chaotic, but marred by reports of pilferage. The foreign national claimed millions of pesos were seized, and high-end phones, designer shoes, bags, and watches were missing. It was also claimed that more than 100 million pesos, which is supposed to be payment for the salaries of the workers, payment for contractors and suppliers, also went missing. What is truly disturbing are some videos that I have seen showing that during the search and arrest, Director Casio publicly humiliated a Filipino worker, stripping him of his dignity in front of many onlookers. Despite showing no sign of aggression, he was met with the officers' hostility, violently pulled and shoved into the clinic room, as you will see in this video, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen. Inside the clinic, as you will see in the next video, Mr. Speaker, this Filipino person, our kababayan, who was visibly terrified, please show the next video, and completely compliant, ito na po, received repeated slapping from Director Casio. Meron pa hong isang pahabol yan, Mr. Speaker. Surrounded by Director Casio's men and unable to defend himself or even voice any protest, the Filipino worker stood there helplessly, even appeared to be breaking down in tears, yet Director Casio continued to slap and berate him, as if acting out of personal vendetta. Director Casio's actions are profoundly unsettling and exposes an unchecked aggression among those trusted with authority, a behavior that has no place in any just and civilized society. He is a bully, stomping on the weak while shamelessly wearing the uniform which demands him to behave otherwise. He does not deserve to be in that position nor in any position of power. He has now been relieved of his responsibilities as spokesperson of PAOK, but I assure him and all other officers responsible for maltreating my constituent, they will face all available legal and criminal action. Mr. Speaker, I would like to direct you into another video where Director Casio, acting with disturbing arrogance, he is seen shouting at the detained employees, pronouncing with full dominance that he has the right to hold them and that no Filipino are allowed to go home. His behavior in this video resembles a tantrum which falls drastically short of the standard expected, especially from someone in his position. Ang sumisigaw po ay walang iba kundi si Director Casio. Sinisigawan po niya yung aming mga kababayang nagtatrabaho lamang doon sa BPO at sinasabi niya, i-hold niya sila hanggang Lunes. And take note, October 31 po nangyari yung raid, so that was a Thursday, so 4 na araw niya pong i-hold yung aming kababayan nang wala man lang ebidensya. So yun ang kanyang pananakot na ginawa po sa aming lalawigan. And may I ask, why did PAOK and the raiding team find it necessary to dismantle or remove all the CCTVs in Central 1 premises during the raid? Was this done to conceal the irregularities in the raid? Were they afraid that their actions would be recorded and exposed? PAOK Director Casio has publicly stated in media interviews that they don't take money or gadgets during the raid, but there is a video that contradicts his claim, clearly showing that they dismantled and seized the CCTV in Central 1. Please show the next video. Ayan po, inaakyat ng kanilang operatives yung CCTV at tinatanggal po. And please show the succeeding video kung saan nakatanggal na po at makikita nyo sa lapag yung dami ng CCTV na nilalapag ng kanilang operatives.
Uy, lalo dun sa kabila.
Dose ng CCTV po yung kanilang ibinaba. Disabling or removing CCTVs during the raid is clearly a violation of the principles of transparency and accountability. It clearly prevents the full and complete documentation of the operation and undermines public trust in law enforcement. Mr. Speaker, the incident indeed has a chilling effect on the workers and companies alike, casting a shadow over the very purpose of economic zones designed to foster growth and opportunity. As a nation that upholds the principles of due process and humane treatment, we must demand accountability for those who abuse their power and tarnish the image of our law enforcement agencies. This incident calls for an immediate reforms and oversight to ensure that such acts of brutality are not repeated and that every Filipino worker is treated with respect that they deserve. Enforcement is not a license to mistreat or humiliate, and due process is not a mere technicality. It is a fundamental right enshrined in our Constitution. Search warrants must be executed with strict adherence in the law and with full respect to those affected. Every individual deserves clarity and humane treatment during this operation. Authorities owe it to the community and to the individuals they impact, and owe it to be transparent and accountable. Vague responses and heavy-handed tactics are not sufficient. We demand a full and honest accounting from those entrusted with the enforcement of the law. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, the search warrant was issued by the court for alleged violation of RA 9208 or the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003 as amended. However, this seems to have been used beyond its intent purpose. Director Casio, in his several public statements, maintains that the arrests were made due to the supposed POGO-related activities with no mention of human trafficking. As outlined in the warrant, what happened to the human trafficking allegation as embodied in the warrant? Lacking any evidence of human trafficking, the raiding team shifted their focus to allegations of POGO-related activities. That appears to be not covered by the search warrant. This ought to be investigated by the concerned authorities to ensure that law enforcement respect judicial mandates and maintain accountability. Mr. Speaker, the FAB, or the Freeport area of Bataan, has a long and storied history. Not too long ago, it was in a state of decline, facing the grim prospect of becoming a ghost town. But through the dedication and vision and resilience of Bataan's leaders and the support of its people, FAB was revived. Today, it stands as one of the top-performing free ports in the Philippines. A beacon of opportunity not only for the people of Bataan, but for the nation. It is a hub for foreign direct investment and a source of employment for thousands. This transformation from decline to prosperity shows the tireless efforts of our community and the critical role of AFAB as an engine for local and national development. I stand fully with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s vision of empowering our ecozones, the front line of economic growth that drive the nation forward. This vision resonates with that of his late father, President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr., who laid the groundwork for establishing the Bataan Export Processing Zone, or EPSA, which is now the Freeport area of Bataan, or FAB. Our shared commitment to supporting ecozones makes this incident especially disheartening, as it undermines the vital role that ecozones like the FAB play in our national progress. With 190 billion pesos in investment from 2010 to 2023, the FAB has become a powerful engine of economic opportunity. From 2010 to 2023, the FAB investments stood at more than 190 billion. In 2022 alone, the Freeport achieved a benefit cost ratio of 10.31, creating livelihoods, contributing billions to our national treasury, and drawing international investors. Employment also increased to 40,895 in 2023 from just around 12,000 in 2010. Decades ago, Bataan has been known to be the province where communist rebels and militant labor groups thrive. Our massive economic development and low poverty incidence have changed this narrative. Through our provincial leaders' painstaking effort, Bataan has become a worthy investment destination. Unfortunately, a single harrowing event like what recently transpired can negate all that has been achieved. I think now you will agree that the revival story of the FAB, from near abandonment to a thriving economic zone, must not be jeopardized by careless enforcement actions that alienate investors and disrupt our workers. The leaders of the government agencies involved have to agree that this initiative could have been better executed through a coordinated effort, if ever one was even warranted at all. Mr. Speaker, I also stand with our President in his call to end illegal Philippine offshore gaming operations and to eliminate any IGLs involved in criminal activities. But in our pursuit of justice, we must uphold the principles of prudence and fairness in carrying out search warrants. Law enforcement must be diligent with full caution in investigation to avoid unjust disruption to businesses. These businesses sustain the livelihood of thousands and provide substantial investment in our economy. Mr. Speaker, I call upon our law enforcement agencies to act with greater care and diligence. When they enter economic zones like the Freeport area of Bataan, they must proceed with a sense of responsibility that reflects the vital importance of these zones. We are a nation of laws, and every arm of the government must respect and follow these laws. Arbitrary action without accountability betray the public trust and threaten our economy and people. I demand accountability from those responsible for violating the fundamental rights of the officers and employees of Central One. I call on PAOK Executive Director Gilbert Cruz, Central Luzon Regional Police Office Chief Brigadier General Redrico Maranan, and CIDG Director Brigadier General Nicolas Torre III, who were reportedly present during the raid. As heads of their offices, they have the responsibility to uphold and respect the rights of our people who they are bound to protect. They are mandated to see to it that their teams conduct searches and arrests lawfully and appropriately, especially within special economic zones. By allowing this botched operation to unfold, they failed their solemn duty and thus caused the erosion of public trust in them. Hindi ba sila naaawa sa ating mga kababayang Pilipino na pinayagan nilang maltratuhin, gutumin, puyatin, at isailalim sa di makatarungang kondisyon? Mga kababayan natin sila, mga Pilipino ang nais lamang ay magtrabaho para sa kanilang pamilya. At ngayon, dahil sa sinasabing nawawalang higit 100 milyong pisong pondo para sa kanilang sweldo, paano na sila at ang kanilang pamilya? Dapat sana'y ipakita ng mga opisyalis na ito ang mas mataas na malasakit sa mga Pilipinong manggagawa. Dahil tayo ay tinaguriang mga lingkod bayan, narito upang magsilbi sa taong bayan, hindi upang usigin, maltratuhin ang kapwa natin. Hindi nyo lang kinuha ang kanilang sweldo. Kung mawawalan sila ng trabaho dahil sa pagdurusang sinapit ng mga investors, pinagkait nyo na rin ang kanilang magandang kinabukasan. In closing, Mr. Speaker, this incident has dealt a blow to Bataan's reputation as a secure and investment-friendly province which could deter future investors, a possibility we hope to avoid. We have worked tirelessly to establish Bataan as an economically vibrant and peaceful province, yet this failed operation risks tarnishing that hard-earned reputation. Even more concerning, it threatens the livelihood of more than 1,600 local workers of Central One. As we strive to grow our economy and attract investments, we must remain committed to due process and to showing respect to every Filipino worker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I urge this body to immediately heed this call for justice, accountability, and dignity for all. Maraming salamat po at magandang hapon sa ating lahat.
From the Chair, maraming salamat, Representative Garcia. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Raul Manuel of the Kabataan Party List for his interpellation.
Kabataan Party List, Raul Manuel, you're recognized. Please proceed, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would our colleague yield to a few questions regarding the topic of his privileged speech?
Yes, absolutely, Mr. Speaker, Majority Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Una sa lahat, Mr. Speaker, gusto muna nating kumustahin ang mga manggagawang Pilipino doon sa Central One. After the incident, after this raid na nakita natin, ay merong mga ilang abuso na nangyari. Sa ngayon, Mr. Speaker, kumusta na sila? Kasi sila yung mga gusto natin hindi naapakan yung kanilang welfare tsaka maging yung kanilang legitimate na sources ng kabuhayan. So how are they, Mr. Speaker?
From our coordination with the company, Mr. Speaker, yung mga workers po ay very traumatized from what happened. They are trying to regroup. Tinutulungan sila ng kumpanya para makakope sa pangyayari. Dinagather din po nila yung mga testimonya ng maraming empleyado sa mga pang-abusong ginawa ng mga otoridad. At handa po silang lumaban sa nangyaring ito, Mr. Speaker, dahil naniniwala sila, wala po silang ginagawang mali dito sa kaganapan, kaya matapang po sila at lumalaban. Ang isang inaalala lang nila, Mr. Speaker, number 1, yung sweldo nila na tinangay. Kasama po dyan yung Christmas bonus. So that is the immediate concern aside from coping up with the trauma of what happened. And second po, Mr. Speaker, paano na lang yung trabaho nila? Magpapatuloy pa ba? They are happy in that ecosystem. Dito po, para sa kaalaman ng lahat, libre hatid at sundo yung mga empleyado coming from far-flung places in our province. Libre yung pagkain. Buffet po. Ang ganda ng gym at incentive-based yung kanilang sweldo. Kaya sobrang saya po nila doon at ito po'y mukhang mawawala dahil po sa nangyaring trahedya na ito, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, kung ganun pala ang sitwasyon doon, lalo na papasok tayo sa December, ibig sabihin magpapasko, ganun pala yung kalagayan ng mga manggagawang Pilipino doon. Mr. Speaker, kung usapin lang naman halimbawa ng human trafficking, ayaw naman natin na merong magiging biktima noon. Kaya naman kung may mga operations, dapat nasisiyasat bago mag-conduct ng mga ganong operasyon, tapos hindi na aagrabyado yung mga kababayan natin na lehitimo yung kanilang mga pinagkakakitaan. So Mr. Speaker, kasi kung yung goal ay human trafficking prevention as stated doon sa search warrant na siyang batayan ng ginawang operasyon, Mr. Speaker, ano ba yung mga aksyon ng law enforcement na tingin natin ay nakaapak na doon sa condition ng ating mga workers doon sa Central One?
First of all, Mr. Speaker, tama ho kayo. Yung search warrant was for human trafficking. At pinagyayabang po ng mga otoridad, more than 1 month yung surveillance na ginawa nila doon sa facility. So, sinasabi nila, airtight yung kanilang kaso dito. And yet, nung pinasok nila, nakita nila, winelcome po sila ng maayos na walang mali siya. Yung mga officers and workers na nag-welcome sa kanila, nung wala silang nakitang human trafficking, bigla sila nag-switch sa Pogo, illegal gambling, and so on and so forth, which is a clear violation, Mr. Speaker, ng search warrant na in-issue nung judge para dito. Nagulat sila na walang torture chamber, walang mga sex den na nakita at maayos yung pagpapatakbo ng BPO. And I guess, to cover for their lapses, bigla sila nag-switch sa Pogo na hindi naman nila napapatunayan, Mr. Speaker.
Kung ganun, Mr. Speaker, lalo na sa mga recent din na investigasyon sa Kamara at maging sa Senado ay lumitaw ang mga nangyayaring hindi magaganda sa mga Pogo, Mr. Speaker. So, tingin ba natin, Mr. Speaker, itong anti-Pogo drive at yung mga initiatives natin para mapigilan ang pag-proliferate at maging yung patuloy na operations ng mga Pogo, tingin ba natin ito ay naabuso doon sa ginawang raid sa Central 1, Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, I was telling the authorities after the raid na what if ito yung other side of the coin, na merong maayos na nagpapatakbo ng BPO, but because of the tsunami of drive against Pogo, hindi natin nakita at nahusgahan natin ng basta-basta na lamang itong maayos na BPO na nag-eempleyo ng libo-libo ng ating mga kababayan. So, I think nakuryente po dito yung ating mga otoridad na meron pala yung other side of the coin na maayos na nagpapatakbo, na nag-eempleyo ng libo-libo nating mga kababayan na BPO operation. So, dapat dito po mag-ingat yung ating mga otoridad na give them the benefit of the doubt, iserve ng maayos at kunin ng maayos yung search warrant, galingan yung surveillance, nang sa ganon hindi natin nabubulabog yung ating mga investors na nagbibigay ng napakaraming trabaho para sa ating mga kababayan.
Now, Mr. Speaker, I'd want to focus dun sa nangyaring mga abuses. Sa mga otoridad, Mr. Speaker, sino-sino po ba ito? PAOCC lang po ba? Or meron din bang police? Or those law enforcement personnel from other agencies? Sino po yung mga kalahok dito, Mr. Speaker?
As far as I know, Mr. Speaker, ang nanguna po dyan ay yung PAOK, CIDG, PNP Region 3, at elements of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. As far as I know, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, others may argue na itong ginawa ng law enforcement ay pagsunod lamang sa utos ng nakakataas. So, it can be used to justify na hindi sila panagutin. Ano po ang komento doon ng ating colleague, Mr. Speaker?
Sa aking pagkaintindi sa batas, although hindi po ako abogado, bagamat may mga instructions, kailangan i-implement po nila or i-execute po nila ng maayos. With respect to human rights, that is uncompromisable, respect sa due process at dignity ng bawat isa, whether foreign or local. Ayan po ay clearly hindi na implement ng maayos in this case sa aming probinsya ng Bataan.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, doon din sa reported abuses ng PAOCC, kagaya ng pananampal, paninigaw, ang nabanggit po kasi lalo noong spokesperson or director, si Ginoong Casio, na-provoke daw po sila. Kaya kinailangan nilang gawin yon para ma-maintain nila yung control doon sa raid. So sa pagtingin po ng ating kapwa mambabatas, tama po bang may ganun ngang nangyari at necessary ba na ganun yung gawin ng PAOCC sa ganung pagkakataon?
If you watch closely the video, Mr. Speaker, makikita nyo na nagmamakaawa yung tao, sinasabi niya, tignan nyo yung mga camera, and wala siyang ginawang pagprovoke sa mga authorities. And sa pagtatanggal ng mga otoridad, ng mga CCTV, paano sila makaka-argue doon sa sinasabi ng mga tao? Dahil protection po nila ng ating mga authorities yung camera as much as protection din ng mga mamamayan. Pero dahil sa kanilang pagtanggal ng mga camera, suspect na po yung lahat ng kanilang ginawa, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Hearing that, Mr. Speaker, moving forward, dahil na-establish po natin na meron talagang excesses na ginawa ang law enforcement agency sa ginawang raid sa Central 1. Mr. Speaker, ano po ang mga hakbang ngayon na ginagawa para ma-address yung naging mga abuses? Ano po ang whether legal action or other types of action para mapigilan po na maulit ang ganitong mga tipo ng insidente?
First of all, I think the company together with its employees ay nagagather na po ng mga affidavit and they will file administrative and criminal cases sa pang-abusong ginawa. Especially dun po sa kababayan naming sinampal. That's one. Two, I hope by this speech dito po sa ating August Chamber, ma-refer po ito sa appropriate committee para ma-check yung pang-aabusong ginawa ng ating mga otoridad. At the same time, paano pa nating ma-improve yung ating mga polisiya na kung saan iniimbita natin yung mga investor, dapat maprotektahan natin sila. So sa ating mga free ports, economic zones, and other areas, para lumaganap lalo yung trabaho at magandang buhay dito po sa ating bansa. Kung ganito po yung mangyayari, talagang lalayuan po tayo ng foreign investors. Pag nilayuan po tayo ng foreign investors, paano na lang po yung trabaho at magandang kinabukasan ng ating mga kababayan?
Kaya panghuling tanong natin, Mr. Speaker, ano po ang may recommend natin as an alternative kung may mga cases na yung law enforcement agencies natin ay nagsususpetsa na yung isang legitimate BPO ay meron di umano nangyayaring human trafficking doon. In those instances, Mr. Speaker, ano mo ba talaga yung dapat na gawin? No? Unlike dun sa nangyari sa Central 1.
Gusto kong malaman ninyo, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Manuel, na this representation, together with the government of Bataan, we will not tolerate any illegal activities in our province. Kung meron man nangyayari, we're with you and we're with the President na talagang hulihin yung mga illegal na nangyayari because we don't live in a perfect world. Pero itong mga ganitong raid, ilang beses na po nangyari sa Freeport area of Bataan. Kaya yung tanong ko nga po sa mga otoridad, with all the resources ng intelligence, ng surveillance, can we do this surgically rather than itong napakalawak na pambubulabog, scandalous raid na nakakasira ng reputasyon? So, maaring hindi perfect, maaring may mga bad eggs, bad element, but with all the resources of government, baka pwedeng mas maayos, mas surgical yung ating approach. So without all the illegal elements, if there's any, nang hindi natin binubulabog, katulad ngayon, nawalan tayo ng libu-libong trabaho sa ating bansa. So if there's a way that we can reform our policies to do that, that will be a big help for our country to attract more investment, protect investors, and secure jobs for our people.
Okay. Huli na lang pala, Mr. Speaker, given nga na naapektuhan dito ay mga kapwa Pilipino natin na nais lamang na magkaroon ng trabaho. Maybe no, Mr. Speaker, if our colleague has data doon sa ilan ba yung mga Filipino workers na ngayon ay nangangamba na walang kikitain, walang sahod.
Nung Mr. Speaker, nung Thursday at ni-raid po yung Central 1. Ang press release ho, lahat ng operating teams na nag-raid ay ni-rescue nila ang 600 Filipino workers and 300 foreign nationals from human trafficking. Yung nakita nilang wala yun po yung press release. If you recall, that evening ng Thursday, sunod-sunod po yan, iba-ibang media outfits. 600 Filipino workers, 300 foreign nationals ang nirescue nila. Yung nakita nilang wala naman palang human trafficking, nag-switch sila sa narrative na illegal pogo raw. Ang totoong numero po, to set the record straight, ang nawalan po ng trabaho is 1,600 Filipinos at yung kinilang detain na 42 foreign nationals. 42 lamang po. Mostly Malaysians, Brazilians, Taiwanese nationals, Mr. Speaker. Pero ang nakakalungkot dyan, yung walang trabaho at walang sweldo ngayon na 1,600 na aming mga kababayan.
With those responses, Mr. Speaker, we hope that our appropriate agencies sa executive branch ay makakilos sa lalong madaling panahon para mapanagot yung mga lumabag sa kanilang mandato at hindi na ito maulit pa sa mga kasunod na mga pagkakataon. And for whatever means that we can have dito sa Kamara, may it be an investigation, then we support that. Based on the speech and the responses by our colleague. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker. Salamat sa ating kapwa mambabatas.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Manuel.
Maraming salamat, Kabataan Party List, Congressperson Raul Manuel. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Maria Angela Garcia of the 3rd District of Bataan for her manifestation.
Please proceed, ma'am.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to make a manifestation regarding the privileged speech of Congressman Albert Garcia. Nais ko po sanang makapagbigay ng karagdagang pananaw at ibang perspektibo ukol dito sa insidente. Magpasa hanggang ngayon, marami sa ating mga kababayan ang napipilitang makipagsapalaran sa ibang bansa, maging OFW or overseas Filipino worker, to uplift their financial condition and provide a better future for their families. Bagamat ang kapalit nito ay pagsabak sa mahirap na trabaho, sakripisyo, lungkot, at stress na dulot ng pagkawalay sa mga mahal nila sa buhay. Ito ang naging buhay ng empleyado ng Central 1 PH na sinampal ni PAOK spokesperson. Siya po ay nag-OFW ng 14 na taon, simula pa po noong taong 2006. Noong makapasok siya sa Central 1, laking pasasalamat po niya na hindi na niya kailangang mag-ibang bansa at mananatili pa siyang kapiling ang kanyang pamilya. Lalo na nang siya ay naging regular at naging maganda ang sahod at mga benepisyo. Kaya lubos na nakakadismaya ang mga naiulat na hindi makatarungang pagtrato ng ilang opisyales at miyembro ng raiding team mula sa PAOK, PNP-3, CIDG at AFP sa ating mga kapwa mamamayang Pilipino na mga empleyado ng Central 1 PH sa Bagak, Bataan. Bagamat wala pa mang naipapakitang malinaw na ebidensya ng human trafficking, may mga ulat na ang mga Pilipinong manggagawa ay tinutukan, pinagbantaan, at isinailalim sa walang dahilang detensyon ng ilang oras. Si PAOK Director Winston Casio ay nakita sa CCTV na ilang beses na sinampal ang nabanggit na empleyado. Nagpapakita po ito ng labis na pang-aabuso sa kapangyarihan at kawalang respeto sa dignidad ng kanyang kapwa-tao. Ang kawalan ng tamang pamamaraan at kakulangan ng tamang pamamalakad sa ganitong operasyon ay nagdudulot ng matinding panganib sa kabuhayan at ng mahigit na 1,600 nating kababayang empleyado ng Central 1 na ngayon ay nag-aalala na mawalan ng trabaho. Ang ganitong pag-abuso at kapabayaan ay hindi katanggap-tanggap at isang seryosong banta sa seguridad at dignidad ng ating mga manggagawa. Bukod dito, ang integridad ng enforcement ng search warrant sa insidenteng ito ay highly questionable. Unang-una, bakit sila hindi nakipag-coordinate sa AFAB tulad ng malinaw na nakasaad sa batas? Either hindi kaya nila alam ito, or worse, hindi na nila ito isinaalang-alang. At bakit po tinanggal ang mga CCTV? Meron ba silang mga ginawa na dapat walang makakita? Tulad ng pananampal sa empleyado? Nasaan ang transparency? Mr. Speaker, public statements by the raiding team alleged a range of crimes, including human trafficking, illegal pogo operations, illegal sports betting. But those allegations remain unsubstantiated as no formal charges have been filed as of this time. Mr. Speaker, batay sa record, ang Central 1 PH ay rehistrado sa Freeport area of Bataan. Para po sa kaalaman ng lahat, ang Freeport area of Bataan at ang Authority of the Freeport area of Bataan ay naitatag sa pamamagitan ng Republic Act 9728 at amended by Republic Act 11453. Ang vision ng FAB is to be a development catalyst by creating meaningful employment and inclusive economic growth in Central Luzon through pioneering corporate governance and multi-sectoral collaboration. Its mission is to create safe, secure, as well as orderly Freeport areas that thrive in livable, ecologically balanced, and disaster-resilient environments sustained by reliable, efficient, and technologically relevant infrastructure systems. Mr. Speaker, as of end December 2023, the Authority of the Freeport Area of Bataan o AFAB has reported the following key figures. Total value of investments from 2011 to 2023, 650.56 billion pesos. Total employment, 36,857 as of September 2024, pero nung pre-pandemic, umabot ng 45,000 workers as of end December 2023. Total taxes remitted to the national government, 1.98 billion pesos. These figures reflect AFAB's significant role in promoting economic growth and employment in our country. Mr. Speaker, let it be put on record that the province of Bataan and its local government officials do not and will never condone nor tolerate criminal activities within its jurisdiction. However, we cannot also allow a highly questionable operation such as this incident to be not investigated or to be repeated, as it has impacted the thousands of jobs of our constituents, the investment climate, and the image of our province. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Congressman Abet, and our dear colleagues.
Maraming salamat. First District, Congresswoman Garcia. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Erwin Tulfo of the AXIS Party List for his interpellation.
Interpellation.
Yes.
Interpellations. ACT Party List, Congressperson Erwin.
Thank you,
Tulfo,
Mr.
please proceed,
Speaker.
sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sa aking kasama si Congressman Abet Garcia, hindi naman ho kayo kontra na ang mga otoridad natin ay gawin ang kanilang trabaho tulad po na pinag-uutos ng Pangulo na silipin ng PAGCOR ang mga illegal na mga pogo. Pero kontra po kayo sa pamamaraan ng pag-execute o yung kanilang ginawa doon sa Central 1. Tama po ba?